Hello and welcome back to part 3 of my summary about this book about money. Let's think about what happens to you if you buy something that's expensive. Some people do this simply to signal to others that they've got this. They perhaps want to be liked and admired, but bear in mind, if you buy an expensive car and somebody's looking at you driving down the street, they're unlikely to actually admire or like you. They're more likely to just benchmark themselves against what they would like and what they would have to do to obtain that automobile. So my advice to you is don't buy an expensive car if your primary reason is to get admiration from others. If you want to buy an expensive car because that's your thing, that's absolutely fine. But don't buy it to expect others to actually admire you. The only thing you can really deduce if somebody's got an expensive car is they've spent that much money on it. You clearly can't deduce anything more about their financial situation. Remember that humility and kindness actually bring you more admiration than any car could ever. And if you actually want to spend money to show others that you've got it, that's the fastest way to lose it. Think about exercise and being rich. They're very similar, because when you go to the gym and you do exercise, you may finish and you think, oh, now I deserve to treat myself to a big meal. And it's a very similar thing in which if you go and try and save money, then you may think, well, now I need to treat myself. And there was a study done in America that showed that people thought they burnt 4 times more calories than they actually had. And then they would potentially consume more calories than they've just burnt off in the gym, thinking, this is what I deserve. And it's just that very same thing with finances. It's got much less to do with your earning rate, but more your saving rate. Passion, this is important. And if you're passionate about a company to begin with, say you love the mission, the product, the team, the science, the whatever, it may stop you moving on from that company when the hard times occur. In terms of saving plans, everybody is actually different. So the author suggested a great thing in which he said he'd predict that the saving plan would pay about 1/3 less than expected. And that's his security blanket, so that, let's be honest, no saving plan ever has 100% guarantee. But that third means that if it doesn't do as well as predicted, then he's still got things covered. And if it does as well as predicted, excellent. He just gets more cash in the end. But really, if the future does resemble the past, great. Be aware that the main key thing is that almost everybody will have an unexpected financial burden. So that's it. It's an unknown risk. Something is coming, and an unknown risk, as it's almost impossible to define, you won't see it coming. So really, what you want to do is not be caught out with this. So instead of saving for a boat or a second home or perhaps a car, like I mentioned in the beginning, really what you should be doing is saving, because you know that at some point there will be an unexpected cost you will occur. And if you think about things, when you're trying to guard against failure in risk processes, what you want to avoid is one single point of failure. You want to have safety mechanisms built in. And that single point of failure thing really does come down to money as well. So the most common trap that people are in is reliance on a paycheck, just like myself really, in that if one stops earning, then one actually is broke. What we all want to aspire to do is to say, well, finances coming from earnings, that's one thing, but there's other streams of income to potentially protect you. So really what you want to do is save, and just realize there's no particular reason to save, just saving for the sake of saving. And over your life, just be aware that your goals will inevitably change. Clearly, a new parent, say in their 30s, would have different views about life compared to, say, their 18-year-old self. So when you think back to secondary school children trying to make career goals, it's quite often bizarre to think that you could predict how you would want to be in the future. So what you really need to do is, as soon as you can, start saving and start making a financial plan that works for you, so that what you can then do is potentially have the opportunity to change career in the future. Many people regret things, but the one thing they seemingly don't regret is the education that they have obtained. And it's interesting noting the end of history illusion. And this is what the psychologists call the tendency for people to be keenly aware of how much they've changed in the past, but to underestimate how much their personalities, desires, and goals will change in the future.